Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this game, we're going to be looking at a Dragonsoul based team competition. This is one of the traits that was new in set 4.5. I don't think it's especially new by now since set 4.5 has been out for a while, but we're going to be looking at Dragonsoul as a trait and stacking Dragonsoul to kind of a ridiculous degree in this game. I'd been playing games for the past week, and I had a number of games where things just didn't quite work out, where things didn't line up the way that I wanted to. But in this game, we're going to see things kind of line up to an almost silly degree in terms of letting me play as many Dragonsoul champions as possible and get additional Dragonsoul spatulas, which let you turn a unit into Dragonsoul that isn't normally a Dragonsoul unit. So this footage is taken from a normal game. There is a pretty decent group in the lobby. You couldn't see it there on the loading screen. There's one person in Master. There's a couple people in Diamond, a couple people in High Platinum. At some point, sooner or later, I'm going to have to get around to playing another ranked game so that I can increase my rating from, I think this was taken when I was at Gold 1, like 96 LP or something. And I seem to be hitting mostly Diamond and High Platinum players and a good number of Masters players in my normal games. But anyway, so here right away, I take the Brawler's Glove off the initial carousel. It's my favorite starting item at the moment because it's very flexible, can turn into a lot of different things. And then here on the first minion round, I end up getting a Dragonsoul champion, or a Dragonsoul chosen in the form of Brand. Brand is one of the one-cost champs, of course, because you can only get the one-cost champs here on the initial minion round, but he is going to roll Dragonsoul for his trait, and so we're going to have Dragonsoul plus Mage, and if I can get in just one more Dragonsoul champ, I'll be able to activate the trait, and there we go. We're going to be able to activate it by putting Tristana in. So now what I'm going to need to do is get some kind of front line between these characters. So I make a mistake here. I go ahead and commit my items on this minion round, and I was thinking, oh, well, of course, I've got the Needlessly Large Rod. I've got the items for a Last Whisper. Last Whisper is a really useful item. I'll just go ahead and commit these items right now. But that's a mistake. You never want to commit them until at least the 3 minion rounds are over, because you never know what's going to pop out, and you might get something better. And in fact, I get something that I really like here. I end up getting an early Sivir here, and I think it would have been better to I think it still was a good call to make the Last Whisper, but I could have put it on Sivir instead, and that might very well have been better. I mean, Trist is a good user of Last Whisper too, but might have been better to put that on the 3-cost Sivir instead of on the 1-cost Tristana. I am definitely going to play the Sivir because that'll activate the Sharpshooter trait, and now I just need to find some kind of front line. I desperately need to get front line of some kind because I have good backline damage, but I don't really have anything protecting my units, so that's what I'm going to have to look for. Ideally, I'd be able to find an early version of Brand and 2-star, because Brand is kind of the Dragonsoul champ that provides a lot of frontline damage. All right, so one of the other problems with this setup here is it's a little difficult for me to activate the Dragonsoul trait because you need one of your units to take damage to activate that trait. And because my Dragonsoul champs are all backliners right now, it's a little tricky to activate it at the start of the fight. You will see a unit start glowing purple when the Dragonsoul trait gets activated, but one of them has to take damage for that to happen. And in setups that are front-to-back team fights like that one just was, it's a little tricky for me to do that. Okay, so I'm still trying to build more frontline here. I reason that if I'm just looking for tankiness, Tahm Kench is probably slightly better than Vi, so I'm going to play him here, but I really don't even want Brawlers for my frontline. What I want is to get Vanguards for my frontline, because it kind of synergizes better with this team comp. But that's the hope here. I'm looking at some of the other team comps. I don't believe anyone else has a Dragonsoul chosen, so it looks like I'm going to be running this trait, and it looks like I'm going to be relatively uncontested for this trait. Now here I'm going to go up against someone who's running a Cultist team composition, and what you're going to see is what happens when you don't have enough frontline to run this team comp. So Tahm Kench gets bowled over, then everybody jumps on Sivir right when she ults, so she doesn't really get an ult off, and then all of a sudden everyone's on my backline. Trist and Brand are hitting different targets, and we're actually not going to kill anything, so that was kind of a bad loss. Took the maximum damage there. And again, the problem is just not having enough frontline here in the team composition. Need protection for my carries. They have pretty much have the damage to kill things, but they need someone to stand in front and tank damage so that they don't just get run over in the first 5 seconds of the fight and then have my backline getting hit. All right, so here I'm just going to pick up the Trist, and since there's not a lot going on right now, and then sell to get to 10 gold. Since there's not a lot going on right now, let's go ahead and look at the Dragonsoul trait. I'm going to read the official trait description. I've highlighted it a couple times in video, but let's go ahead and cover this here. Dragonsoul. First Dragonsoul ally to take damage in combat receives the Dragon's Blessing. So again, someone has to take damage in order to get the Dragon's Blessing. When blessed, the unit gains bonus stats. They gain extra attack speed and extra spell power. And every 5th attack fires a Dragonsoul Blast, deals 40% of the target's maximum health in magic damage. On death, this blessing passes to the closest Dragonsoul ally who does not have a blessing. And here at the start of the game, only one person gets the Dragonsoul blessing. Now in this battle, it's ended up being Brand. Again, you can tell because he's glowing bright purple. Also, that was kind of a nice example of that because the person we were up against, Little Velvet, also had the Dragonsoul trait in play. And we both had people that with like that big purple glow on their side. So again, Dragonsoul works is you have to take damage, and at the start of the fight, start of the game at 3 Dragonsoul, only 1 unit gets the Dragonsoul blessing. So here we've got the first carousel, and as it turns out, it's one of the triple spatula carousels. I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. So this is actually really useful for me because I've got that leftover needlessly large rod, and with a spatula, I can go ahead and make a Dragonsoul spatula. So this is going to be great. I can turn an extra unit into Dragonsoul that doesn't normally have Dragonsoul. Now, there's just one downside. That spatula was on a Tristana, and in order to pick it up, I have to grab the Trist, and because this is set 4 and not set 2, I can't auto-sell the Trist and prevent her from combining into Tristana 2-star, because I don't really want the spatula on the Tristana. I want to stick that on Brand so I can make I want to stick that on Brand so that I can make the spatula pop off and then get the Dragonsoul spat. So that's kind of unfortunate. It's also a little bit unfortunate I lost the tiebreaker. If you look at the health on the right side of the screen, I had 92 health and Boosted Horizon had 92 health. And I just lost the coin flip on who was going to go first. And otherwise, I could have taken, there were 3 spatulas on that carousel. I could have taken the spatula that was on, I think there was one on a Kennen and there was another one on someone else, which would have been more gold to sell and it wouldn't have gotten stuck on Trist. So that's a little bit bad, but there is always a chance if I can find more Trist, I can sell this current Trist, replace it with a new Trist, and then take that spatula and move it over to Brand. It will pop off of Brand because he already has the Dragonsoul trait. You can't have double Dragonsoul trait on one person. So the location of that spatula is a little bad, but it's something I can work with because Trist is not that hard to find as a champion. Anyway, I went ahead and leveled to level 5 there. One other thing that was nice about that is I did manage to 2-star the Trist. Again, Trist is not generally a hard champion to find. She's a 1-cost champ. She should be pretty common in these early stores. But I did make 2-star Trist, so that's going to increase her damage significantly. And here, even though I kind of would like to have the Kindred as an additional source of damage, right now my team doesn't need more damage. My team needs more frontline. Unfortunately, I don't really have great frontline options. I guess maybe I could pick Annie, but I'm at 20 gold right now. I really don't want to buy anything in this store because this way, even if I lose the round, I'll still be at 20 gold and hit the next income threshold. So I end up just not buying anything in this store. Now here, because there's assassins on the other team, Trist picked up the Dragonsoul benefit immediately. And though she will die eventually to these assassins, she will pass the buff over to Brand when she dies. That allows Brand to get off at another use of the Dragonsoul proc. And we end up winning that round, which I kind of didn't think I would win, but the fact that Trist managed to pick up the Dragonsoul buff immediately from an assassin jumping on her actually worked out pretty well in that fight. So as I said, Dragonsoul's a tricky trait. I actually don't really like the way the trait is designed here. I'm highlighting the text again for helpfully. I kind of don't like the way that this trait is designed. I don't think it's as well designed as the Dusk trait that it kind of replaced from set 4. Dusk just provided kind of a flat bonus to everyone on the team and then extra spell power to everyone on the team and then more spell power to Dusk champions as you got more in the trait. Dragonsoul is finicky because you know someone has to take damage and then it transfers on death to someone else and it just introduces a lot more RNG into the fights. Now I guess you could say the counter is, well, it makes positioning more important, but there's always a fair amount of randomness in these fights. Anything that increases the randomness in the fights I think is kind of bad. So it's not my favorite trait, but you know, we're going to see more good examples of how to play through it in this game. So here on this carousel, what are we going to see? Well, we get gold, and then we get more gold, and then we get a spatula. I was like, oh my god, another spatula. I have 2 spatulas, so I could make Force of Nature here, but I've already got the needlessly large rod for one spatula, for one Dragon Soul spatula. I was like, why don't we make another Dragon Soul? I'll toss it on brand, get that spatula, get that needlessly large rod off brand, make one Dragon Soul spatula. If I can just get a needlessly large rod right now, I can make double Dragon Soul spatulas with a Dragon Soul chosen. And that means we're headed for Dragon Soul 9 in this game because it's going to be really easy to get there. Now, normally you can't reach Dragon Soul 9 in a game. There are only 7 Dragon Soul champions. So even if you get a Dragon Soul chosen, you can't make it to Dragon Soul 9 in a game normally. You have to have both a chosen and a spatula, or 2 spatulas, if you want to play Dragon Soul 9. So at this point now, I'm committed. I'm going to hold the brand for the whole game. Usually you'd want to sell a one-cost champion as the game goes, or a one-cost chosen as the game goes along, but that is not always the right play. Since this will allow me to get into Dragon Soul 9, I'm going to hold on to the brand, and then I'm just going to look to make another Dragon Soul spatula. I just have to get a needlessly large rod off carousel. Now, I went ahead and put the Dragon Soul spatula on Sivir. She's a good person to put it on. Another sharpshooters tend to be good at choices in general to put the Dragon Soul spatula on, because think about what stats you get from the Dragon Soul, making someone into Dragon Soul. You get extra attack speed, and you also get extra spell power. So mages are not the worst either because they get extra spell power, but the big damage from Dragon Soul comes not really from the extra spell power, though it certainly doesn't hurt. It comes from the attack speed, and from that every 5th attack you get the big blast that deals 40% of the target's maximum health and damage. Here, I've just been still trying to find frontline. I've not found a Braum yet the entire game, which is kind of weird. So I've just been trying to put stuff up on the front line. I tossed in an Aurelia and then tossed in a Janna for a little bit more protection. These are just units I'm running while I'm looking for a Vanguard frontline, which is what I want to play in this game. But so far, I have not found Braum. I have not found Shyvana. I am a little disappointed I haven't found more Dragon Soul champs. I've also randomly made a 2-star Nautilus, which is fine. He's serviceable frontline for right now. Like, this will work. I would prefer to find like an early Aatrox and an early Sejuani. If I could do that, I would then drop the Janna and play something else. But like, this works for right now, and happy to play through this. So for Dragon Soul, you generally want to get more attack speed, and you want to get champions who can use that attack speed. So like Tristana is a good user of it. Olaf, who will hopefully pick up later in this game, will be another good user of that. And then, like, the difficulty is getting the Dragon Soul bonus onto people that you actually want it on. So, like, in this game, or in this fight, Sivir's picked it up, and she's a great user of it. She's going to get her ult off, get that extra attack speed, get the extra attack damage, and then when she dies, it'll pass to someone else. So, like, the blessing passes over to Tristana, who's, again, continuing to use it. So unfortunately, we weren't able to win that fight. I think that was another fight where our front line got bowled over just a little bit too quickly. But I'm liking how this is going. Again, it should be really easy to get to Dragon Soul 6. We just have to find some more of the Dragon Soul champs. I actually had terrible luck finding them. There is an ASO on this carousel, but look what's on this carousel. There's a whole bunch of needlessly large rods. So even though I have low carousel priority, I'm going to be in the next to last round here. There's, 4 rods on carousel? It's going to be incredibly easy to get another one here. I'll just take the most expensive unit I can, which is going to be Talon here. So that's going to be a 4-cost unit, and I've got my needlessly large rod. So now I can turn another unit into a Dragon Soul. We'll be at 5 Dragon Soul, even though the only Dragon Soul units on the board are Tristana and Brand. Yeah, Tristana and Brand. I've actually had terrible luck finding Dragon Souls. No Braum, no Shyvana, no Aurelion Soul, and no early Olaf. So I've had terrible luck finding these units, but it's not going to matter that much. So now I can turn another unit into a Dragon Soul. And there I decide just to roll. I was like, let's just roll and find one of these units. So I go ahead and I find the Shyvana. So now I'm thinking about how to do this. It's like, all right, I want to get up to the 6th Dragon Soul. How do I do this? I think I'm going to sell the Janna because I took Aurelia out. And I was like, do I want to commit this to the Nautilus? I was like, okay, I'll put the Nautilus in for right now. And then I figure I'd rather have Yuumi in over the Janna if I can pick one of the two now that I've dropped the Enlightened trait. Okay, so now I have 6 Dragon Soul, and this is a huge spike for Dragon Soul team comps. You are much stronger if you can get up to 6 Dragon Soul as opposed to just running 3. 3 is something you kind of splash into a team comp. It's not really the main focus of the team, but when you go up to 6 Dragon Soul, it becomes the main focus of the team comp. So what changes? Well, first of all, the benefit that the Dragon Soul blessing provides goes up. It almost doubles. The Dragonsoul 3 benefit is 40 attack speed and 40 spell power. At Dragonsoul 6, it goes up to 70 attack speed and 70 spell power. So it almost doubles from 40 to 70. So that's extra attack speed and extra spell power. But the big thing that you get from going up to Dragonsoul 6 is more people get the blessing. You go from 1 Dragonsoul blessing up to 3. So 3 units can get it. The first 3 units that take damage in a fight are going to get the blessing. So that's a really big deal, because when you only have Dragonsoul 3, and here again I'm hopefully highlighting this, when you only have Dragonsoul 3 in, it's just very difficult to get the blessing on the unit you want. It can be really tricky to do. Oftentimes what you'll see is have people put a unit up on the front line that they intend to die immediately, and then when they die, the blessing will pass to someone that they actually want the blessing on. But I don't really have to worry about that with Dragonsoul 6. Now there's enough people with the blessing that it's pretty easy to get that onto the carries that I want. And remember, when someone dies, it passes to the closest unit that is a Dragonsoul that doesn't have the blessing. So it doesn't matter having that Nautilus on the front line, even though Nautilus really can't use the Dragonsoul blessing very well, because when Nautilus dies, it'll just pass to someone else in the back line. And since I have so many champs like this, it's not that difficult to get it on to the people I really want, which are Tristana and Sivir. They're the ones who can use the blessing the best on this team, because they get the extra attack speed. So they'll be attacking super fast once they have the blessing. They'll get 70% extra attack speed. And every 5th attack, we see the big dragon wings pop out. And it deals 40% of the target's max health as magic damage. So if you're up against a Dragonsoul team, it's actually really important to have magic resist, because one of the things that can actually stop the blessing from going off. Well, it doesn't stop it from going off, but it reduces the damage that you take if you have magic resistance. All right, so by the way, what am I doing right now? Well, I'm mostly just leveling. I want to get up to level 8, because if I get up to level 8, I can get the, I'm confident I can get Dragonsoul 9 in if I can get up to level 8. Because like there's units I'm running in this comp that are not really integral to it. Like I'm running the Yuumi, which I can drop. I tossed in Nico to pick up Mystic, which I can also drop. And I also want to get to higher levels so I have access to more advanced units. So again, note my board is not really that strong right now. I mean, I've got a lot of 1-star units. I still have not found Braum for my front line, so I haven't had great luck here. I wasn't a huge fan of the items that I got there either. Like I got the pieces for another Last Whisper, but I don't really need 2 Last Whispers. 1 is probably sufficient in this team comp. So I'm going to go ahead and put another Brawler's Glove on Triss. I can figure out what item that turns into later. We see the dual champs getting off their Dragon's Blessing proc there on Sivir and Tristana. And then I toss the Giant's Belt onto Nautilus, because Nautilus is not going to stay in this comp forever. He'll come out down the road. So I just toss him in for right now. And there we go. Now we have Braum. So I'm going to play him over the Nico for right now. And that means I probably will want to take out the Yuumi as well, because Yuumi is now not really doing anything. Honestly, I should replace the Yuumi with another champion. And I think I'm going to see that. I see that there's a Nunu in the store, and I'm going to go ahead and sell the Yuumi and replace it with Nunu. Nunu is not going to do much in this team comp, but he'll at least provide the brawler benefit and provide some modest front line for the Shyvana. So why not? We'll toss him in there for right now. We go up to 7 Dragonsoul. Now 7 doesn't actually provide anything special, but we did get Vanguard in. That'll make Nautilus and Braum more tanky. And, just more frontline. That's kind of still the weakness of this team comp is more frontline. We are up against this duelist team comp, and it looks like the frontline got bowled over pretty quickly. So, yeah, you can see, need to upgrade that frontline if I'm going to go up against this person. This person has apparently been lost streaking because they're level 6. Very rich, but only level 6 right now. They're like a level behind where everyone else is. Likely we're sitting at like level 5 to slow roll for Yasuo and try to 3-star. But now that they've hit the 3-star Yasuo and the 3-star Fiora, they're actually fairly strong in their duelist team composition. So again, just looking to get to higher levels and then looking to find the higher cost Dragonsoul units. So I've gotten the double spatulas, which has been fantastic, but like, look at what I haven't gotten. I've gotten 0 additional Sivers. I got Sivir on the 3rd minions round, and I found 0 in the shop for the entire rest of the game. So I was like, all right, a 2-star Sivir would have been pretty nice to have had, but have seen literally 0 of them. I've seen 1 Braum, and I've seen 1 Shyvana. I've seen 0 Olafs. I've seen 0 Aurelion Souls. Now, okay, I was lower levels, but I've been pushing levels pretty aggressively, so I'm going to go to 8, and then at 8, I'm going to roll and look to find them. And then hopefully that will allow me to put Dragonsoul 9 in, because usually you'd have to be level Usually you'd think you'd have to be a higher level to put this in, but with a Dragon Soul chosen and double Dragon Soul spatulas, I really should be able to get Dragon Soul 9 in pretty quickly. Just need to find Olaf, then need to find the Aurelion Soul. And anyway, we bowled over that team comp pretty easily. If the front line holds up, then my team does do an awful lot of damage because I have 3 people picking up the Dragon Soul Blessing in every fight. Every 5th auto attack is going to get that big Dragon Blast on the enemy team. And in particular, if they're missing magic resistance, it's going to be a real issue for them. All right. So we have another carousel. I've been on a... I did have my win streak interrupted, but I've been winning most of these rounds since I was able to get Dragon Soul 6 in. So I'm pretty happy with what that looks like right now. I have to think about what item I want, but there's not going to be too much left over. So it's mostly just going to be whatever I can get here. I have double Brawler's Glove, so I really would like to find like a tier for a Hand of Justice, but it doesn't look like that's going to be an option. I could also make a Thief's Glove, but that's gone as well. And then I'm left with stuff I don't really want, so I go ahead and take the bow. Is this a great item choice? I don't know. It will allow me to make a rapid fire cannon, which has some pretty good uses in this team comp, and I'm going to look to just put this on Tristana for right now. So let's go ahead and look to level. We're going to go to 8, and then we're going to make the RFC. Now, this is an item that can be used on some of the champs later on. And by the way, I find an early Samira. I was like, oh my god, all right, well, that is good RNG. Let's put the Samira in there. And then I'm going to grab Tryndamere. I was like, you know what? Tryndamere, he's a Slayer. I'm going to want 3 Slayers. Now that I found Samira, I'm going to want 3 Slayers in. So maybe we can play Tryndamere as our Slayer. And then I just hit the 2-star Tryndamere really fast. So I was like, okay. Maybe I was like, maybe since I hit 2-star Trynd so fast, maybe I just put this other Dragon Soul spat on Tryndamere and then play through Slayers as my dominant trait here. Just because I found him so quickly. That's what I was thinking about here. So Samira gets off a nice ult. Samira getting the Dragon Soul bonus is pretty crazy. So at this point, I'm really looking for Olaf, because if I can find Olaf, I'll be able to put Slayer in as well as make the Dragon Soul that I need. Need to find Aurelion Soul, need to find Olaf. I don't even need to find Swain. Normally you need to find Swain to hit Dragon Soul 9, but I don't need to find Swain, which is really nice. So I go ahead and end up selling the Nautilus. I was like, all right, we'll make Tryndamere into our other Dragon Soul. So we're going to play through Slayer, and now I just need to find Olaf and Aurelion Soul. I think I was thinking about my items right here. So we find a set, which is nice. We'll toss him in for right now until we can make something. And then I see that there's an Ornn. I was like, this is pretty early for Ornn. Maybe we play Ornn and just get 1 item on Ornn, because he will make Vanguard with the Braum. My comp is still not that strong. I have a lot of 1-star units in here. I don't really get strong until I hit the next tier of Dragon Soul. In part because, remember, I have invested a lot of my items in making Dragon Soul spatulas. Like, the spatulas don't really do that much on their own. You kind of need to hit the next level of the trait. Fortunately, Samira gets off some amazing ultimates right there. And Samira getting the Dragon Soul benefit, kind of a nice thing to have when she gets the extra spell power and the extra attack speed, causing her ult to deal a bit, essentially 10 billion damage when she ults. And here, all right, now we're finally starting to hit some Dragon Soul units. We get the Aurelion Soul, so I'm going to want to put him in. I'll ditch that Nunu, who hasn't really been doing a whole lot other than providing Brawler 2 to Shyvana. And now we're at 8 Dragon Soul. I was like, 8. I just need to find Olaf or Swain. But in particular, I really want to find Olaf right now because I'm at 2 out of 3 Slayers. By getting Olaf, it will really buff up the damage of the Samira, because she will have she'll have Slayer in. She already has Sharpshooter in, and it'll just cause her to do so much damage. Down the road, I also will want to transfer Tristana's items over to also want to transfer the Tristana items over to Samira, because she'll be a better user of them. But I need to find another Trist for that to happen. And aha, I do find another Trist, so we'll go with that. Now we're rolling for Swain and Olaf. That's what we're looking for there. I find another Set. Set's also a really good user of the Dragon Soul buff, or Dragon Soul spatula. He's also a really good person to pick that. It's like, geez, can I find like 1 Olaf here? Seriously. And there we go. There's the magical shop. We get a Soul 2-star. And then I was like, I'm going to just get rid of the Ornn. I know he didn't make an item for me, but I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to play the Dragon Soul 9 if I have that chance. And then based on the items I got, I'm going to make a Trap Claw. It is the poor man's version of Quicksilver Sash, but it does actually do something. It's not bad to have. So I'll put that on Triss. And again, we're waiting for the opportunity to transfer Triss items over to Samira. So now we've made Dragon Soul 9, and we have Slayer in play for Olaf, Tryndamere, and Samira in there. So what does the Dragonsoul 9 bonus do? Well, the Dragonsoul 9 bonus is crazy. It's totally bonkers what you have because it's so difficult to get this in play. So Dragonsoul 9 is more people get the Dragonsoul bonus. It goes up from 3 champions at Dragonsoul 6 up to 6. So the first 6 people to take damage, or first 6 Dragonsoul champs to take damage will get it. And the benefit doubles again from 70 attack speed and spell power to 140 attack speed and spell power. So basically the whole team's going to get the blessing, and they're all going to have 140% attack speed, 140 spell power. That's like double death caps basically on everyone who gets the blessing, and they all still will have their 5th auto attack, will cause the big dragon like the big dragon effect to pop out. So you're going to see it, the little dragon wings just flying out everywhere on this team. And remember how we kind of had trouble against that duelist comp the last time we saw it? Well, that duelist comp's been win streaking, but we just annihilated the duelist comp right there. I went ahead and put a jeweled gauntlet on Aurelion Soul just because that's what I had the items for. And now I'm going to look to go to 9, and then I'll have to put something else in at 9. At 9, I can look to replace one of my units with Swain. We'll have good odds to roll for Swain 2-star if we can get to level 9. Also good odds to 2-star the Samira. I don't want to look to roll anymore. Even though I could benefit from updating my board, I do still have a fair number of 1-star units. But the play right now is to get to 9, find 2-star Samira, find Swain, try to 2-star Swain, and look to go from there. You might notice I grabbed a Lulu. I picked up a Lulu because I think the unit I want to put in at level 9 is another mage. Another mage will let me, will cause Aurelion Soul to cast twice, and I think that that's probably the way to go right here. Another option would be to try to play through the Olaf, which would make sense because I do have Slayer. And by the way, look at the Samira ult with the Dragonsoul buff or whatever. It's just ridiculous. Everything in her little spinny circle just dies instantly. It's just crazy. She doesn't even have any other items. Once she gets Triss items, it's going to be absurd. So the other option would be to play through Olaf, but it's because I only have 1-star Olaf. I'm a little bit more hesitant to play through that. Now, the item I want here is the Guardian Angel. That would be just amazing to put on Samira. It's one of her key items. Like, the best items to put on here are generally Last Whisper, so that she will shred the armor of everyone when she ults. And Guardian Angel is also really, really helpful just because for survivability. Unfortunately, it's taken there. I, of course, do have last carousel priority, but it was still around until near the end. I'm going to go ahead and take the Trap Claw because this is a defensive item. I do want to put one defensive item on Samira, so this is like the, again, poor man's version of Quicksilver Sash, poor man's version of Guardian Angel. So I believe I end up putting this on Samira just to give her a little bit more protection. But, or no, actually I think I ended up putting it on Aurelion Soul. Yeah, I ended up putting it on Aurelion Soul. I was considering putting it on Samira, but I said, you know what, let's wait and see. All right, let's go ahead and I end up transferring the items over to Samira here. So I go ahead and put the Trap Claw on her, and now I have now I have a leftover RFC to put on someone. Now, a really good user of RFC is Olaf, but since I only had 1-star Olaf and I had 2-star Aurelion Soul, I ended up putting it on Aurelion Soul so he'll ult faster. By the way, note the Trap Claw blocking the enemy Aatrox pull on the other team. So even though Asol ends up with some really wonky items here, like he's got the Jeweled Gauntlet plus a Trap Claw plus the Rapid Fire Cannon, I'm actually reasonably happy with how his items turned out. The Trap Claw is actually a really good item on him because it protects him from the Asol pulls. In fact, you're going to see quite a few people are going to try to pull him. Quite a few people are going to have Aatroxes and try to pull him, and it's not going to work because the Trap Claw will keep blocking it. And and it also does have some synergy with the Jeweled Gauntlet because it does build out of a Brawler's Glove. It does give him a little bit more critical strike chance. And here I'm going to switch him to the right-hand side because I saw there was a Nico in the corner, a 3-star Nico in the corner for one of these other teams. And it turns out it works for this team comp as well. This is going to be a ghost round, but it works out here as well because there's a 3-star Sivir in the corner, and that's going to position this to get hit by the Aurelion Soul as well. So Asol has kind of become my secondary carry. Again, I would have looked to play through, and by the way, this is a very close round because that's a strong team comp too. I would have looked to play through the Olaf, but I was just slow to get the Olaf 2-star, so I figured it was better to itemize the Aurelion Soul because I just had a 1-star Olaf. Didn't see the need to load up a 1-star Olaf with a bunch of items that he probably wouldn't really get to use. And then sadness, I end up finding a Guardian Angel on the Rift Herald here. I was like, now I get the Guardian Angel. After it's because I've already committed my items to Samira. I really would like to put this on Samira. If I could have Dragonsoul, Spat, Last Whisper, and the Guardian Angel, that would be kind of perfect itemization on Samira for this particular team comp. But I already committed the Trap Claw. I mean, the odds of getting a Guardian Angel from this last minion round are basically like 0. So, oh well, we'll just put it on someone else. Now I'm going to go to 9 here and then look to roll and try to make this. So I do make the 2-star. I do make the 2-star Olaf, which is really quite helpful as well. And now I'm rolling, and since I don't, looking to see if I can make anything else. And I see the 2-star Smear. I was like, oh, okay, well, we need to get money. So let's sell the Shyvana, because I have found one Shyvana the entire game. And we'll look to make that. And now, unfortunately, I did have to sell the Lulu, because otherwise I wouldn't have enough gold to make the 2-star. I should have, you know what, I should have just sold the 2 brands. I don't know what I was holding those 2 brands for. I guess I was thinking I could make the 2-star... I guess I was thinking I could make the maybe the 3-star brand, but that's clearly not going to happen at this point in time. Here we also have a little bit of bad luck. We get the we have the enemy Zephyr takes out the Aurelian Soul, and the Lee Sin is going to kick out some of our units, and then Aesol gets popped before he's able to ult. So I do end up losing that round. A little bit unfortunate. I have to do more to dodge that Zephyr, but here we go. This is more of what I want. I want just need another mage in here. Doesn't really matter which one. Vagar did pop up in the shop, so I'm just going to play him. And then here I go ahead and grab another Braum for the front line. Still found 2 Braums the entire game and 1 Shyvana, so okay. But at least I had good luck at finding the Aurelian Soul quickly, and I have managed to find the Swains since I got to level 9. All right, so I'm going to look to move here, and let's see what we've got. So if Samira gets her ult off in the fight, I'm probably going to win. That ended up being kind of a bad swap because it's going to stop the Aurelian Soul from targeting that Sivir. But did you notice the Trap Claw actually blocked the Aesol from getting pulled? The Trap Claw is actually doing a ton of work, and Samira has her own Trap Claw. And this fight really ends up not being close. Samira didn't even get her ult off in that fight. And like Aurelian Soul just carried the fight super hard. This is a nice thing about this particular team comp. And oh, by the way, we find the Swain 2-star, and we found the Swain 2-star pretty fast, so that was good RNG. One of the other nice things about this team comp is the Dragonsoul. If you can get up to Dragonsoul 6, and obviously if you make it to Dragonsoul 9, your team ends up with multiple different sources of damage because anyone is a threat once they've got that Dragonsoul bonus on them. And we have 6 people that pick it up in the fight. So who can be strong? Well, I mean, we've got the Samira, obviously. If she gets her ult off, we basically win the fight. But we also have the Aurelian Soul who's strong. And we also have the Swain who's pretty strong too. Because when he ults, it's actually pretty hard for people to kill him. And even the Tryndamere can pop off pretty well. I mean, he doesn't have any items beyond the Dragonsoul spat, but that's kind of enough. Like, Samira gets her ult off and everything dies. And so now we're left down to just me and one other player. And this one other player is the person who has the Sivir 3-star and made a very strong comp. Like, Sivir 3-star is going to win a lot of lobbies. So we have one last carousel to go, and I see that there is a Dragon's Claw there, thematically appropriate for this team comp. And I definitely want that because it's a tremendous item on Swain. So with Swain, you just want to make him tanky. So he's got a Guardian Angel that'll give him the revive, and by putting the Dragon's Claw on him, he's going to be very, very hard to kill. Very hard to kill. So now finally I see the Shyvanas. If I can make 2-star Shyvana, I would play that over like the Braum. So I'm just waiting to see what, if anything, I hit here. This team comp's also going to hit 3-star Yuumi, which, I mean, look, 3-star Sivir, 3-star Yuumi, that's a strong team composition right there. So I'm going to look to swap the Aurelian Soul to the right so that it's focused on the Sivir, and then shift Swain slightly to the left so he's a little bit closer to where the carries are. Now, again, Aatrox is going to pull units in the corner, but I don't care if he pulls Brand. And the Trap Claw is going to block the Aesol from being pulled. And yeah, so Samira gets her ult off, and the Aurelian Soul pops the 3-star Sivir in the corner, and that fight went very well for us. It wasn't even remotely close. So yeah, works for me. Remember, the Dragonsoul bonus does provide 140 spell power to everyone who has it. So that extra spell power might not matter that much to someone like, I don't know, Tristana. I mean, I know it helps her ult by having extra spell power, but on Aurelian Soul, having 140 extra spell power means he does absurd damage when he ults. I mean, it's like he has, as I said, it's like he has 2 death caps on him in addition to his other items. All right, so this person did make a smart adaptation. They moved their Sivir and their Yuumi into the middle of the field where they're less susceptible to Aesol blasts. I mean, we still don't get me wrong, we still kill the, still pop the Guardian Angel on that unit. But it does provide more time for Set to get back up, and it looks like there was a burn effect that killed some of our units. But even though this fight is closer, ultimately the outcome's not really in doubt, so we're going to end up winning, and that's going to be it. Dragonsoul 9 for the win. Double Dragonsoul Spatulas and a Dragonsoul Chosen. It's something that's so difficult to get that when you do land it, it makes your team just like absurdly strong. It's not something that's easy to deal with. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. It's been a little while since I had the chance to cast one of my games here. That wasn't just live commentary. Dragonsoul, not my favorite trait, but if you can stack 9 of them in one fight, it does make for pretty entertaining stuff. So until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great week, and I'll see you again soon.